when I met my ex, I thought, I wanted to be in like, and again, I was 19, so an infant. I was like, I want to be, in a serious relationship and, just settle down and blah, blah, blah. But then as I became my own being and just, started following my dreams and living out my passions, and being ambitious, suddenly, like you said, other things need to fulfill you. And unfortunately, not everybody is super supportive of that. And, things happen.
Well, yeah, that's just part of growing up. And that's one of the problems with relationships is that people always think, they're going to stay the same. And the only way you can stay in a relationship long term, in my opinion, in my experience, is by realizing that the two of you come together as the people you are then, but the two of you will grow and change as you age, because that's what evolving as a human being is about. And so you can either change together, or grow apart, and you either grow apart or you go together. So in your case, it sounds like you grew apart, and that's okay. That happens. Wow. Yeah. So Jason, what was your longest relationship?
My longest relationship was almost 2 years.
Okay, that's not bad for 32.
Yeah.
That's not bad. And
it was about 2 years.
And yours was 5 years, and mine, this is the longest.
4.
This is the longest I've been in. Is 8. So
yeah.
Okay, good. Well, cool. So you guys are. You've got your heads on. That's good. Good for you.
Yeah. And then that asshole left me for another dude.
Oh well, at least it wasn't a woman.
Please. No, for real. I actually dated a guy earlier this year that his ex broke up with him for a girl.
Ew.
Yeah, it didn't work out.
You think?
Well, that happens all the time. I mean, it's vice versa now in this day and age.
It is so true. I think, your little generation there, y'all, specifically Christian's generation, the millennials and shit like that, they are just like, oh, whatever. Most of them, not all of them. They're like, man, woman, he, she, whatever. I don't care. It's just, which is cool. I think that's awesome. But for me, I mean, I think sexuality is typically more defined than that. But it seems like in this young people just don't really care so much. So, are you guys like
that? Is true.
You guys are you both of you guys gay? I'm
gay 100% all the way. Gold star gay.
I'm a gold star gay too, by the way. Although Jason, this woman you were laying on the sofa with this weekend on the
I did see that. Was that a current photo or an old photo?
That's an older photo.
Okay.
It's probably about a year old.
Oh, what's not that old? Well, she was cute. So are you like dating her now or something?
I see you got jokes. No. She's just a friend that I've known for quite some time.
Well, she was lovely. I liked her. She's pretty. Okay, so how was your Halloween, by the way, before we move on? What did y'all do?
I sat around and watched The Purge Anarchy, and people was like, "You're not going out to a party?" I'm like, "No. First of all, I don't have anything to wear." Then second of all, the weather was, well, for the people that don't live in Dallas, the weather was kind of yucky all this weekend. It rained the entire weekend.
It's very Halloween-esque, though.
Yeah.
Fog
so
in the morning.
it was very foggy and rainy and misty and dreary and depressing and
yes.
It matched everything for Halloween, but I just didn't want to go out in it. So I just stayed at home and watched the movie.
What about you, Christian?
On actual Halloween night, I went to the club, twerked it out a little bit, worked it out a little bit.
Wait, which club? Which club?
I don't want to say.
Why? Was it on the strip?
Hold on, wait. No, let me think. Christian would probably go to.
No, it wasn't my choice, and not okay. That sounds bad, but like it wasn't my night to pick.
Okay, so
normally this isn't my spot, but this place is not bad. It's just normally.
Okay, so let me think. Okay, so you say you have to go somewhere to twerk it out. The only place I can think of where you could twerk it out will probably be
S4.
No, not S4.
The Brick.
No, not the Brick.
Moby Dick.
Fuck, what's the name of the place on the strip?
JR's?
You're killing our
time. Fuck, I can't think.
Roundup.
No.
Sue Ellen's.
Forget it. No, hell no.
Baloney. No, we went to Havana's, which is like
yes, that's what I'm about to say. Havana.
Yeah,
when he said twerk it out, I was like, yep, that's the place to go.
Yeah, it's like a hip hop Latin Mexican club.
That sure is.
That and Caliente.
Caliente.
Yeah, but this night it was just it was just normal night, just normal twerk it out and work it out night.
Well, that's fun.
I was Karl Lagerfeld. I was gonna enter the costume contest until the person in front of me was like butt naked and had like a really nice body, and I was like, oh, never mind. But he didn't win. Actually, Medea won, believe it or not.
All
so
right.
I was like,
good for Medea. I love Medea.
yeah. I was happy. I was happy for the people that voted for Medea for not being shallow.
Speaking
for the body.
Speaking of costumes, did y'all see Christian Siriano's costume? I don't know if you know who he is.
No, what was he?
Oh my God, he and his boyfriend went as Picasso paintings. And I am telling you, you have to look this up when the show is over. If you're listening to the show, look this up. Christian Siriano and his boyfriend, Picasso paintings. This was the most fucking amazing costume you've ever seen in your life. It sounds boring, but oh my God, they look like fucking walking animated characters. I mean, even in pictures, it just freaked me out. Anyway, look at it. It was really cool. But as for me, all we did, because I'm old, we went to the movies and out to dinner, and that's all we did.
So did you get trick or treaters? Did you give them the jackpot or what?
We didn't even wait for trick or treaters. It was like 7:00 when we left the house, so I don't even know if they came or whatever. But whatever.
Would you go see the movies?
Burnt with my one of my Hollywood crushes, Bradley Cooper. It's nothing exciting for you guys, but what's for me?
Yeah, I haven't heard of it
because I think he's cute and lovely. Anyway, okay,
so while we're on the subject of Halloween,
yeah.
So here's my thing.
Oh, goodness.
Every year, people want to dress up in interesting costumes.
Usually slutty ones.
All that good stuff. Yeah, normally, I saw a lot of slutty-ass girls this weekend. Everybody want to be a sexy cop. I'm like, that is so cliche. But anyway,
I
was
hate
like,
cliche costumes.
I mean, it was like 7 girls all dressed up as like sexy police officers, sexy maids, sexy... I'm like,
nurse.
This is so, like, do something different. Like, that's so cliche. So, booty, y'all. Anyway... So every year we have these people to come out with costumes, whether they're interesting or everything. Here's my issue. Why is it that every year someone wants to go out and dress up in blackface, even though they know it's going to cause controversy and ruffle feathers, and they do it anyway? I guess they just do it for the attention. But I'm just like, why are people so obsessed with blackface on Halloween?
Well, everybody wants to be black. They just don't want to admit it.
You know what? I believe that. I actually told a friend of mine. I was just like, why are certain white people just so obsessed with being black?
There are some white people who I really do believe, they're wiggers or whatever you want to call them. They who really. Oh, what the fuck? Somebody's got feedback. Oh my God.
What is going on?
Okay, hello. Anyway, There are some white people who are just so obsessed with being black themselves, or want to be, or they act like, or they culturally want to be black. Like that freaking Rachel Zalwazad chick or whatever, right? And they just want to be black, and so they think it's okay because, oh, I'm cool, I'm down, whatever they say or whatever. It's like trying to be all black talk or whatever they try to call it. And it's ridiculous, I think it's embarrassing. I think it's embarrassing for anyone to wear blackface for whatever reason.
And then people always say, oh my God, that's the coolest outfit ever. And I'm like, do you not see that this motherfucker is in blackface? And they think it's just the coolest thing ever. Okay, for example, Nick Kroll, Kroll, whatever his name is, he's with the country group Florida Georgia Line.
Oh, yeah.
So they did an interview with him, and they were talking about how...
feedback, somebody. Christian? Okay, it was Christian. Go ahead.
Okay. So Nick Kroll, he's with the country group Florida Georgia Line. He did an interview with some magazine. I believe it was some news magazine or something. Not news magazine, but some magazine. I can't remember who it was.
Okay.
And back in college, which was about 7 to 8 years ago for him, they said, what did he dress up as, or whatever the case may be. He said he dressed up as Flavor Flav.
Oh my God.
He was like, yeah, I had the chains, I had the blackface, the clock. No one knew who I was because I was in blackface. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, now I'm like, if I would have been the interviewer, I would I'm going to take off and run with this story, because I'm thinking to myself, why would you want to dress up in blackface and
people don't have any
Flavor Flav? I'm like, I had to grill, and I'm like, oh my God.
People are just fucking stupid. They're ignorant. That's what it is. That's all it is ignorance. Like the people, like you were talking about, Lahoma, Oklahoma, the mayor apologizing for dressing up as you want to talk about that?
Yes. So the mayor of Lahoma, Oklahoma,
right,
which is Christian's neck of the woods. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I'm not going to claim. I'm not going to claim. I'm not going to claim it.
So the mayor of Lahoma, Oklahoma, is apologizing to its residents and other people because her husband went out dressed as a KKK member for Halloween. Robe and all. I'm like...
Not only did he go out dressed as a KKK member, but he lit a cross on fire in his front yard.
Yes.
So, I mean, not only was it
part of a Halloween prank, I'm like...
Not only was it bad enough that he put a fucking KKK outfit on, as he said, in honor of Halloween, but he also burned a fucking cross in his front yard. Now, to me, it sounded like this is just an excuse for him to come out and say he's not really for the KKK, but he really is, or really thinks this way. Obviously, no one within right mind who's not a racist would do that. I'm sorry. Do you think?
Yeah, it's kind of like when the gay boys want to be drag queens, but they're only drag queens on Halloween.
Yes, yes.
It's like this, but the KKK.
Well, something like that.
It's like make better decisions when you're doing, your things for Halloween. I understand people want to dress up as interesting things, but you don't want to just to the point where it's like poor judgment, people looking at you all crazy, and I just don't get. I'm like, why would you want to dress up as a KKK member and then light a cross?
Yes, I mean it's just foolishness and ignorance. That's all it is. The same with the blackface thing. It's just
and my thing is also, I don't mean to cut you off, Christian, but also my thing is that for her husband to do this, the mayor's name is Teresa Sharp. Mm-hmm. It also kind of reflects her to a certain extent. I'm sorry, I just feel like if your husband goes out and does this kind of thing, I know you apologize, but if he supposedly had these tendencies, quote unquote, or that type of thing, I feel like it kind of falls back on her as well, because I'm thinking, not saying that she's like that, but you had to have some kind of indication that you knew that
your husband's a racist.
Yes.
She knew that cross was going in the yard.
I mean, how should she not know? Come on.
She knew.
Exactly. So that's why I say she apologized, but I'm not taking her apology too seriously, because I'm like, bitch, you did, like, your husband did this shit, and then, you did it in the yard, and then you trying to apologize, bitch, please.
Well, I could really care less. I mean, I understand this is a big story, and I understand why, especially since he's the mayor. But I could care less about some fucking mayor in Lahoma, Oklahoma, apologizing for me, or his wife, or whatever. I mean, I'm sorry, Krista, I know you're from Oklahoma, but Oklahoma is one place that I think is far worse than Texas in terms of racism and things like that. It's just a horribly racist state, in my experience. So I don't know. I just think that people in Oklahoma generally they think that way. And so, I think also when you think the mayor...
Here comes the hate mail.
Also, well, I don't care. The mayor, when you say the mayor...
I'm sure nobody in Lahoma, Oklahoma listens to our show.
Yeah, I'm sure they don't.
Exactly.
Exactly. But people in Oklahoma, if he's the mayor, he must represent more than just his own sentiment about this issue, in my opinion. So, anyway.
See, but hold on really quick.
Yeah.
What I don't understand that people get really upset about, and I do understand to one extent, but then another extent, I don't. The people that get really upset about, like, cultural costumes, like geisha or Native American, like, that was a really hot topic this year, and I think there's a right way to do it. Like, more so. Am I wrong?
No,
like, I need to be explained.
I was just thinking about Bill.
Because I would love to dress up as a geisha.
No,
but if I was going to get hate mail for it.
I was thinking about Bill Maher this weekend. He talked about this exact topic and said almost the same thing you said. But he's like, people who dress up like geishas. He's like, who the fuck are you going to offend? The 12 geishas in Kyoto? I mean, who the fuck? I mean,
and that's like an ancient art form. That's a theater art form.
It's kabuki. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, like.
Yes, it is a beautiful thing. And I also think that that's the thing, and that there's a distinction, I do agree with you, that there's a distinction between people who are actually doing it because in kind of a tasteless way and people who are doing it in an honorable way. But I don't know. That's a good question. Where do you draw the line? Is it okay to do, if it's okay not to do it's not okay to do blackface, then why is it okay to do a geisha or a Native American or whatever with red makeup or something like that?
I'm not a big fan of, like, sexy Native American. That's not ever one of my favorite costumes. Like, people continue to be Native Americans, but this year that was a big one.
The reason I feel like it's offensive to do blackface, but it's not offensive to do others, because when people, this is my personal opinion, but I feel like when people do blackface, they do it to intentionally make themselves look stupid, which ultimately kind of falls back on black people, because whenever I see someone do blackface, they go all out and try to make that character look as dumb as possible. And it's like, when you do something like that, like Flavor Flav, for example, like why would you want to dress up as Flavor Flav out of all characters you could dress up as? Okay, and